Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm DELPPY and today we will be taking a look at the Umidigi A13 Pro. So without wasting so much time, because somebody has actually been waiting for this review, let's start talking about the Umidigi A13 Pro. We'll start off with the unboxing experience. In the box, you are greeted with a user guide and thank you card, which houses a SIM injector tool for the device. Nobody actually really reads the user guide, but the SIM injector tool is in there, so you have to look out for that. Also, you are getting a USB Type-C, 2 Type-A charging cable, a 10-watt charging brick, and then the phone itself. They were kind enough to actually add a TPU case in the box for some aesthetics. But looking at the design of this device, I don't think you'd even want to add a case to it, because I mean, it would definitely hide how beautiful this device is. I'm talking about how beautiful this device is. Let's look at the build and design. The design of the Umidigi A13 Pro looks quite similar to some flagship devices. Of course, it has that boxy design most of the devices we've seen this year have been coming with. The rear side of the device has a matte textured finish which looks like glass but isn't. It's actually plastic. Boldly written behind is the Beyond Dreams inscription and the Umidigi inscription itself as well. If all of these are in there when you unbox the device, then it means you're actually getting a fake one or a replica. There's a triple rear camera setup which looks quite similar to a smartphone brand I know. But I'm not going to go into that. The volume rocker buttons are in their right positions, and then we have a power button which actually doubles as a fingerprint scanner. There's actually a dedicated button here which does some certain functions I'll get into in subsequent parts in the video. This device has support for a hybrid dual SIM, which clearly means that you could actually have either dual SIM cards in this device or a single SIM and a micro SD card. There's a headphone jack. They were kind to add a headphone jack on this device, and a USB Type-C charging port which has support for 10-watt charging. I almost said fast charging. And then a mono speaker as well. The mono speaker is actually something I'd like to get more into, but then this is kind of not so impressive. Enough of the design. Let's talk about the display. The Umidigi A13 Pro comes with a 6.7-inch water drop display which houses the 16-megapixel camera on the device. I'll go more into the cameras when we get to the camera section. When it comes to the display, I must say I am not really impressed with how the display works on this device. First off, it's capped at 720p and I was expecting a 1080p, but even though it's capped at 720p, you could stream YouTube content at 1080p. The display kind of feels washed out sometimes in certain points, but I mean, of course, it's $150. Depending on your country, it could be 170, 180. This still does the job, and I'm pretty sure they had to cut these corners to make the price very affordable for consumers to purchase. Another interesting part is the display doesn't come with a higher Widevine certification. It has a Widevine level 3 certification, which means that you can't stream HD content on Netflix or other movie streaming platforms like Hulu, Disney Plus, or HBO. The maximum you can actually stream is 480, which is standard definition. Pretty sure it's not really bad. Should hold up for the time being. Of course, like I said earlier, they were supposed to cut cost to make sure you are able to purchase it or make the device affordable. Performance on this device has been actually mind-blowing. The fact being that this device runs on Android 11 and stock Android UI, which makes it more smooth since it's the purest version of Android and also gives no chance to bloatware, and hence giving the device a very smooth and optimized performance. Gaming on here has been nothing but battery smooth. I had the little experience with Apex Mobile. I haven't tried any other game yet, but that should kind of be a benchmark for it, because of course playing Apex Mobile smoothly on such a device should probably give you a fair idea of how well performing this device is. The device comes in 2 RAM variants. There's a 6GB RAM variant and a 4GB RAM variant. The version I have here is a 6GB RAM variant, which is very, very cool, especially when it comes to performance. No lags so far, not too much heating up issues. I only observe it when I'm running an update or I'm probably having a long gaming session in Apex Mobile. As stated earlier, the device comes with 128GB of internal storage, which makes it okay to handle stuff like taking pictures and all that. But the picture side, I will get there in a bit. But so far, performance has been nothing but the best on this $150 device. The device runs on a Unisoc processor, which is the Unisoc T610 processor. Now, this device is much comparable to the MediaTek Helio G85. It's actually supposed to outwit it slightly in a way. I mean, performance with this would be slightly better than ones with the MediaTek Helio G85 processor. Now that we are done with the performance, let's look at the cameras. The device comes with a triple camera setup, which houses a 48 megapixel main camera lens, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens with 108 180 degrees field of view, and we have a 5 megapixel macro lens. Pictures that come out of this device are not entirely great, but they are not terrible as well. I mean, of course, for that price, you're obviously going to expect nothing high on such a device. Now, if you're seeing a triple rear camera setup that looks like that of a smartphone I don't want to mention, I believe you'd have high expectations to maybe perform better. But I must say you have to lower your expectations because it's not going to provide one of the crispiest images. However, it does do well in the right lighting conditions. Colors are quite saturated in the right lighting conditions, but where it does really terrible is during the night. It doesn't really do well in night mode. So I'll advise you to stay away from taking night pictures if you're using the Umidigi A13 Pro. Other than that, in the right lighting conditions, you surely would get some good amount of picture quality when you're taking pictures with the Umidigi A13 Pro. Same applies to the 16 megapixel camera on the front facing side of the device. The Umidigi A13 Pro cameras record video at 1080p 30 fps each, and they are not so good. I mean, you can't use them for professional work, but something to show to people about something you're describing, it should do the job. It should be okay. Again, all these would look much better if they are in the right lighting condition. The cameras come with electronic image stabilization, which is not so well done, but again, it had to cut some corners to make sure the device was affordable for some of us to actually purchase it. So I wouldn't be too expectant on certain things like that. The Umidigi A13 Pro comes with a 5150 milliamp hour battery capacity, which means it should last you close to a day and a half if you are somebody who is not much of a heavy user but is a very avid user of a smartphone, and takes up to 3 hours to fully get the device charged from 0 to 100%. I believe this is one because the charging adapter is actually a 10 watts charging adapter, and the charging supported on this device is actually 10 watts. So obviously you'd have a very slower speed of charging the device. And the battery is actually 5150 milliamp hour battery. So obviously it should take a longer time to juice it up since it's actually very big. Overall, I don't think this is a bad device. It's actually a very great device, especially for the price it's coming for. And I must say, I'm very, very much impressed to see such a device. If you're someone with an entry-level budget but want to go for something that would provide a mid-range value, the Umidigi A13 Pro should be your best bet. For $150, I'm pretty sure the output this gave me is great. I'm DELPPY, and this has been my review for the Umidigi A13 Pro. If you enjoyed the video, do make sure to leave a like and the subscribe button to stay with us to get updated on any other device we'll be reviewing. Hit the bell notification icon so you get updated as well. And I will catch you in another one. Stay safe. Peace out.